Yo, well, dag nabbit, man, what's happening? How y'all doing today? That music is loud as you know what, right? I'm way over here because I thought this this Dodger thing was gonna work. So looks like I'm gonna have to talk right into my mic today. Nah, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to do something about that. So y'all gonna have to excuse me. By the way, in the meantime, while I step away, I want you guys to take a real good look at Robert Louis Johnson. This is Robert Louis Johnson right here. Some of you may know who he is. Let me get out the way for the Facebook people. Okay. This is the founder of BET. Right. He's a rich individual, right? Now, of course, a lot of people have controversy on the things that he decided to allow to be programmed and what should and should not be. Nevertheless, I'm celebrating this man for my Black excellence today. So while I turn this music down, y'all just go ahead and take a good look at him until I come back, because I need to drop this music down. This is just a little bit too high. All right. We're working on it, family. And what I like to do, there you go. That's a whole lot better. Okay, so excuse that, but at least I left y'all with something to look at. And I'm going to go through I'm really just coming up with a whole bunch of different little things to do and certain ways to operate, because what I'm realizing is that I should try to touch on as much as possible in the short time that I have. So, of course, today's topic is going to be how to connect with your third eye. A lot of you don't even have a clue of what I'm talking about. And then there's a lot of you who do have a clue of what I'm referring to. But I'm going to give you my understanding of connecting with that third eye. All right. Because a lot of people like to leave out God and everything else. And I think that everything is connected. So I'm going to give you my version. And today, our Black excellence is going to our man, Bob Johnson. Okay, so we're going to give him a round of applause for Bob Johnson. The owner of BET was born April the 8th, 1947. Okay, y'all count it up and figure out how old he is. So he's the founder, and he has been, for as far back as I can remember, been doing business in this TV and programming area. So we give him a lot of applaud today, because we want to be able to say to young people who inspire to be like people like him, people that are doing some. For him, there's a lot of positive things. I still think that if you look at BET and some of the things that they put on, it's a controversy with some people. Some people think that it's a diversion. Some people think that he's really there and making a big difference. So I like to believe that just his success in itself is making a big difference with a lot of people, especially our young people coming up, inspiring to be like him. So it doesn't necessarily mean they have to walk in the exact footsteps of any successful person, but at least get a understanding that you can literally become anything you put your mind to. And this is a good example of that. So agree or disagree, he is a success in his own rights. So we give him credit there. Now, the topic today, of course, really understanding and connecting with your third eye. Now, what is that? Me and a friend of mine was actually having a conversation today. And the conversation was pretty cool, man. I mean, I really liked it because we were on the same page, and we're not often on the same page. And that's the kind of people you really want around you, that's going to tell you the real about what it is you think and how you operate, so you can kind of keep a check on yourself in a lot of ways, right? Your friend will tell you, even if it hurts your feelings a little bit. That's the kind of friend that you want, that's going to be straight to the point and not beat around the bush and be your yes man or your yes girl. So this is my concept of the third eye. And I also want to give thanks to while I'm in the process of now I know how my mindset have felt in the past few days about this war that was going on, right? Of course, I have to come back and revisit that because it's fresh. The war is fresh right now, and there's a lot of things and changes that are happening. So I want to give my version of what I see and how I feel about what is going on with Putin, with Ukraine, and with America and all the NATO alliance. I'm giving my opinion about that. And I do want to give thanks to. Now, I did say yesterday that Ukraine got a lot of nerve showing daggone racism against black students trying to leave. I said that yesterday. And what came down the pike soon after that was that it was addressed in their country. And apparently, the leaders of that country is saying the black Africans are our friends. Okay. Now, on that same token, it has to be ordered downstream to let these conductors know, don't do that no more. Don't do that mess because that's racist. And they already, well, you can't fire them right now because of the turmoil that they're going through, but they had better get the freaking message because that goes around the world. That makes a difference if people want to actually, have compassion enough for Ukraine and say, are you worth us even putting the effort in? If you're going to be that way yourself, the way that you're being treated, no. So that conductor, those people who was refusing those black people for shelter and safety, they need to be checked. They need to be checked, and apparently they were, from what I'm understanding. Now there was a young lady that had made it out, and she made it to Romania, and she was reporting back on how the black people who did make it to Romania, how they were treated. Okay, so they were in an area that was, I guess they're like a Grand Central Station area over there, where everybody has to be inside the building because, of course, the weather and the conditions and everything. But she was reporting. She's a young African student who got out and making her way to Africa, and she reported that how she was being treated in Romania. And what I'm hearing from her is that they treated her well in Romania. They accepted her. They showed her, they gave her food, let her clean herself up, and she didn't have to pay for anything because they understand the dynamics of what's going on. You don't have to pay for help when you're at a war crisis like this. They're escaping war, refugees from war right now. So you don't charge them money when you help them out. Everything should be just a gift to them at this point, because now you're at a peace and a helping state right now. So you don't charge the people that you're trying to help. So she's reporting that they've been treating her very well, and she was very happy to be there. And from that point, her African brothers and sisters are able to disperse to different parts of Africa from that Romania area. So kudos and kudos to Romania. All right, they treated the black and brown brothers and sisters well, and I thank you for that. Okay, I personally thank you. I ain't nobody, but this nobody is thanking you still. Okay, and the other thing I want to bring up is that did you guys see the State of the Union address last night by Joe Biden? Did you guys check that out? Okay. Regardless on what you think about him, okay, one thing he displayed last night was courage, right, and patriotism, and the willingness to get along with the other side. These are the three things that I heard and I saw. With the effort that I see this old man trying to put in with his old self, y'all can call him what you want, you know, but the old man ain't scared. And I guess maybe at his age, he ain't got no reason to be scared. He lived a whole good portion of his life. But right now, he's trying to do the right thing before he has to pass on, move on, or lay down to rest or whatever. But he's trying to do something. You can agree or disagree on his past. That is just like we can judge you for your past. Y'all can judge me for my past, but it's a matter of what I do now that makes the difference on who I am currently. And I'm going to look at Joe Biden that way. He's not perfect. He's an old fart, but that old fart got fight in him. And I got to give him his respects. So let me give him, Joe Biden, his kudos for trying to do the right thing. All right, regardless on what you other people think who hates his guts, okay? Y'all can go kiss rocks. But as far as what I could see, the man is trying. He ain't perfect. He ain't making all the right moves and all the right decisions and all the right steps. And he stutters about things on the mic and he forget a couple things. I don't give a dag nabbit about that because I do the same thing. You know what I mean? Some of y'all do even worse, and you got the nerve to talk about this man who's trying to be patriotic and help everybody as he can, as much as he can. So therefore, he gets that thank you. We appreciate you from a big nobody like me. You know what I mean? And if that carries any weight, then let it carry weight. If it don't, it's still coming from this one nobody, somebody saying that Joe Biden keep up the good work. All right. That's for that. And my other thanks have to go out to um, all the I'm a big boxing fan, and apparently we have gotten to know a couple of Ukrainians that did well in boxing in the pro division, and the two Klitschko brothers did very well. Okay, they reigned for a good amount of years. I'm not throwing out stats right now. I'm just saying that they have put their gloves down, like I mentioned the other day, and picked up the uniform and weapon to defend their country. So kudos go out to those two guys. God bless you, and we hope to see you on the other side. And also, Lomachenko, man. Now, all you boxing fans should know Lomachenko. All right, pound for pound, the dude is sharp, and he was racking up wins like crazy, and he beating everybody. There's a very few that he didn't beat by decision because when he decided to literally step up, he stepped up a bit too late, and it cost him the fight. And y'all know what fight I'm talking about. I ain't calling other names. I'm just giving him his kudos and his respect for putting the gloves down and picking up arms in his country against the big bad bully, Russia. And Usak, or I forgot his name. He's another Ukraine guy, Ukraine fella, and he beat. Who did he beat just recently? Dag nabbit, I forgot. But look him up. Y'all look him up. If I'm slipping here, y'all just go ahead and look him up because there's three major pro fighters or four major pro fighters that have to put the gloves down and literally get out there. I think it's Usyk, something like that. So I'm going to give him also a round of applause. Put the gloves down, put the sport down, and he went to fight for his country. Okay, that is brave of these men to do that because they were on the brink, if not making millions, on the brink of making millions, and they had plenty of fans all around the world. And I was a fan of those guys until they fought my guy. When they fought my guy, I wasn't a fan of them at that moment. But I got to give them big credit for them doing what they're doing, literally giving their lives for the country. Okay. Now, I also, you know me, I'm always talking about racism and all those other things. I'm going to get into, connecting with your third eye, but I just want to get this out the way first. And I also want to say something about Tesla, the plant in Fremont, California. Apparently in 2015 to 2019, there was some type of racial situations that were going on in that plant. And it had not been addressed between 2015 and 2019. Now, I don't know if Elon Musk got the daggone memo on this, but now just recently that they're bringing this lawsuit. It must be a class action lawsuit against that particular plant in California. And apparently, they have been bold enough in there. The higher ups have been using the N word to some people. And dag nabbit, you got a lot of mother sucking nerve to do that in such a big company like that. So therefore, you should get exactly what it is you deserve for being that way. You're no good stinking whoever you are. To call somebody the N word like you almighty somebody, you ain't got that right. You know what I mean? So therefore, um, we really gonna look at it like this. Whoever did that, boo, boo. You know what I mean? Bump, kiss rocks, and all that. All right. So now, being I got that all out the way, um, let's talk about the third eye, connecting to this third eye, and how you connect God with it all. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, likes to tap into this third eye thing and eliminate God in the whole process, which you can't do and you shouldn't do. And if you are doing it, then that is a wrong direction that you are leading people. You're leading people in the wrong way. And if you're not, if you're just doing it for yourself, then you're headed in the wrong direction. This is my personal opinion. The big nobody is saying something because he believes he's somebody and believes in something other than just a power. I call it God. Yes. And you can beg to differ all day long, but you know what I'm going to say. Kiss rocks, right? But this is my view. All right. And I think I've had this ability since I was young and didn't understand what it was. You know, a lot of people like to brush it off easily and just simply call it being creative. Yeah, just being creative. It's a very creative child. I definitely picked that up as well, that I was very creative in a lot of things that I did. Mind you, I grew up as an only child, and I had to occupy myself as if I had friends. So let me tell you what this third eye, it depends if a child has this over creative mind, all right, that that is literally the third eye, because you can sit there in a dark room. Well, I can sit there in a dark room, can't see a thing, pitch black, but for some reason I see things in that darkness, and I see them just as if my eyes are wide open physically. That's that third eye. That's understanding what that is. That's your mind's eye. You heard people talk about that mind's eye. That's what it is. Your mind's eye. Everybody has it. Every single human being has that because it's built in us. It is built in us. We didn't build it in us. God put that in us. It's a creative mind. We just pass it off as just being creative. But it's more than being creative. And a lot of people recognize that and try to use it, try to use that unknown source to manipulate people with it. Because when it's fresh with somebody and they don't understand what it is, then there's somebody to explain it to them who could be already tapped into knowing how to connect with their third eye and use it against you, or to manipulate you to do things that are going in the direction they want you to go. You see? So that's where you have to be careful and you have to be grounded. And that's where God is. God is in this whole third eye thing, this mind's eye that we have. And we don't associate that with God. We eliminate because we think that there's some other source. When you see this in your mind, you're saying there's something greater that we can't put our finger on, and everybody just simply calls it God. But it is God who developed you to be that way, who designed you to be who you are in the way that you operate and think. And that third eye, that creative mind, God put that inside of each and every one of us. Some of us tap into it way sooner. I was one who tapped into that third eye way sooner when I was a kid, but I didn't know what it was. My mama didn't know what it was, but whatever it was kept me occupied as an only child. I could be having a ball in my room by myself, but that third eye of mine, that mind's eye, that thing have made me create things like toys. I created toys on my own and had them all over the house. You remember, I don't know if some of y'all who follow me know that when I spoke of when I was little, I made silver aluminum foil toys. Yeah, I got that idea from a guy in North Carolina. I spoke of that as well. And I took it to my level. I couldn't reach his level. His third eye was greater because he was older and he had tapped into it a lot sooner. So his creativeness was kind of off the chain. I like to believe that he became somebody, you know? But I do know this, it implanted something and opened my third eye even more. My creativeness, my mind's eye was like, whoa, the things that he did, I inspired to do the same thing. Couldn't get to his level, but then I had to twist it to fit me in the way that I think, the way that my mind eye work, my creativeness. And every individual has that ability. Just like God put in us a bit of him. God put in you a bit of God. Not that you are God like God, but God is in you, in each and every one of us. But on that note, too, evil is in you as well. Why do you think that there are some people who can be extremely kind and sweet and religious? Because they lean more toward the God in them. They may go so far with it that nothing else matters. Doesn't matter if they clean their house. Doesn't matter if they're down to their last dollar bill. It's either pay tithes or pay the bill, and they'd rather pay tithes. It doesn't matter if it comes down to somebody attacking them, because their strong belief in God is that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and they won't raise a finger to defend themselves. That's how much faith they have. It's just like they lean more on the good God in them, and they don't do an awful lot. They rely almost 100, 200, 1,000% on God. They lean that way. And then the people who have, like I said, both in them, God and evil, and then they lean toward evil. I'm talking about other people who lean toward evil. They practice it day in and day out. They may just think about it. Then they just might talk about it and then draw about it. And then they start trying on little animals. And then they go from animals, they promote themselves each time. And then the evil gets more, and then the devil sees this door open and he jumps in like a possession over their bodies, like they can't even stop themselves. They go overboard with it. It's like that when I talk about this third eye, because we have it in us, each and every one of us. It's a matter of practicing it. First, recognizing what it is, not just giving it an overall name, creativeness, and leave it at that. It's greater than that. It's greater than just being creative, because that third eye, that mind's eye, you can apply it to most anything. I'll tell you how I know that personally. This is what I have done, and I do it up to this day. I could be working on something in here, my room slash studio, and I've never dealt with it before, but I try to use a lot of my common sense to pull it together. And I'll try to hit this button, that button, swing this down, bring that up, plug that in, take that out, swing that around, redo this, slice that. I'm doing all of these things. And I'll get frustrated because I ain't get it. And I'll sit back in this chair and I'll close my eyes And when I close my eyes, I literally find the answer. The answer comes in that third eye, that mind's eye. And that was planted in me by God. You can't eliminate that ability that we have because it was planted in each and every one of us. It's a matter of how much you practice it. So whatever you practice over and over and over and over, you will become. That's a fact. The way you can learn about a lot of things in this world is learning yourself. Whoa, what you talking about, Daryl? Just what I said. You can learn a lot about the world by understanding how you operate and how you think and how you respond. If your body is hurt, watch how your body tries to recoup itself. A lot of people lose touch of that. They just look at it as hurt. I'm hurt. Let me run to the doctor and let them fix it. Then there's a lot of people who believe in self-healing. That's planted in us as well because it is also planted in your third eye. Yeah. Yeah, it's deep. It gets pretty deep. And you got to beware of the people who have been there and studied it. Scholars of understanding that third eye. That creativeness that you have inside, that's all you call it, is creative. But it's deeper than creative because God planted that thing deep inside. Now it's a matter of tapping into the thing. And when you tap into it, what most people do, they think they did it themselves. Look what I found. But it was there the whole time that God had put inside of you. And you didn't know. And when you find out, you think you got a new discovery. But it's been there in each and every human being. But it's a matter of learning how to tap into it. There are some people that are so creative in something that they are masters at it and don't even know how, that they themselves don't know how and why. You put a child at 5 years old in front of a piano and he plays that piano like a master. Where did that come from? He's just very creative. It's more than that. That child has tapped in early to its third eye, its mind's eye. How can you sit a child at a piano that hardly ever played a piano and that child start learning the piano in 2 months, 3 months, a year? He can play better than people who studied all their lives. Where does that come from? It's not just practice, but it is still a part of it. That child tapped into it. You ask that child how, he can't tell you how, he can tell you what he do. That child's special because we don't tap into the stuff like this until later ages. A lot of us, some of us never tap into it. And they wonder why couldn't it, why aren't I creative? But you are in your own way and you haven't tapped into it. You haven't used that third eye, that mind's eye in there. You haven't used it because you don't know how to. Yeah, this deep stuff. But God is connected to all of it. Anytime you hear people trying to separate God from even the stars and the moon, you can't do that because God created it all. And you have to beware of people like that. Manipulative people trying to pull you away from being grounded in the creator, God, who created you. There's no the higher power, the higher source, the higher energy. Of course, he's the higher energy. That energy is planted in each and every one of us. Each and every human being is the reason why we wake up and do what we do in the course of the day and lay down and go to sleep at night and wake back up in the morning because of that energy God built in each and every one of us. There's no separation. This is common sense. You don't have to go to a scholar to know this. You have to examine you. Everything that is good, you connected to God. Everything that is good in this world, you connected to God. If you've been blessed and you don't even know why you was blessed, or you don't even want to give thanks to God that you were blessed, you just say, "Oh, look what I found. I found. Look what I did. Me, I did that." God gave you the ability to do that. God planted a seed in you to do that. That's who you should be thanking for anything you may have achieved in your time. G-O-D. Dagnabbit. What? Am I wrong? A lot of you may want me to be wrong. But if you really think about it, God is connected to everything that lives on this earth and beyond. And beyond. Yeah, there's way more. It's way more. You can't just believe what your eyes can only see. Because sometimes when y'all close your eyes, y'all see darkness. I'm blind. It's black. Well, explain what you see in that darkness, in that blackness. I don't see anything. I just see black. It's dark. Because you haven't tapped into your third eye, your mind's eye. You haven't tapped into it. If that's all you see when you close your eyes, there's more to it. You have to look deeper past the darkness. What you talking about, Daryl? You got to think past the darkness when you close your eyes. Why do you think blind people can be so masterful at some things that we just can't get? And we got two eyes and we can see everything. Because they're forced to live off their third eye, to that creative thing that's built inside of them. Now it takes over because they have to move and operate within that third eye, that mind's eye. They have to. They don't have a choice. How about blind people who were born blind and never seen anything before? They're born with that third eye. And there's a lot of blind people who see way better than we do. You've heard that saying before, right? Because it's true. And where does that come from? God. Yeah, God, y'all. It comes from God. Give God credit for being God, who've created all. I'm not going to get into the atheists and all of that. I'm talking about the third eye today, how to connect with it. Creativeness. If you are a creative person, that's it. You got it. You're tapped in. Sometimes when you close your eyes at night, you find yourself in between being awake and sleep. And it's not quite dreaming because you're not asleep, but you're thinking, but you can see your thoughts. You see them. You can say that red is red and the green and blue is blue and white is white. You can see all that when your eyes close in the pitch black darkness because your mind's eye is describing everything to your mind that it sees or it remembers of what your eyes have saw in your time. So it creates a picture once you close your eyes. Now it's a matter of being able to maneuver through that in your mind's eye. Yeah. And I was able to do that. Even right now, I used to talk to, this is one thing I used to try to share with a couple of people that I was able to do. I thought it was pretty cool, right? If I am talking to you like you're a female or whatever, and we rapping, we trying to get to know each other, whatever. And I would try to share that information because I'm so excited that I'm able to do this. And I'm checking to see, can you do it? And what that is that I can sit in a dark room right across from a person. I can reach out and touch them if I wanted to, but There is not that. It's just us sitting there and we're talking to each other. Light music in the background, maybe of our choice. It doesn't matter. And then I describe to them a scene, because the scene that I'm describing is what my mind eyes see. And I'm trying to help that person tap into what I see in pitch dark. Her eyes closed, my eyes are closed. But I'm describing this in detail. You got to be able to be detailed when you're talking from one mind's eye to another. And then there's things that you can add in or subtract. In that whole scenery, mind you, we in pitch black dark, eyes closed. We're connecting with each other. That to me is fun. It's fun. I like doing that. And I haven't found too many people who can tap in like I can tap in, who can literally vividly see with their third eye and be able to describe what they see. That's actually a beautiful thing. We could be in North Carolina and I can describe something in Barbados, and it will take us literally. It feels that way, that it can, that description and that image and picture that I described in your mind's eye will take us from North Carolina to Barbados Beach, soft blue waters, small wave crashing up on the sand. Doesn't quite meet our feet yet, but we're looking across at green blue waters, beautiful sun, not too hot, not too cool, just perfect. Slight breeze, maybe a couple of seagulls flying. See, we can go through that whole thing in my mind's eye. That'll take us from one place to the next. And I'm going to tell you who else, believe it or not, a lot of people who have been incarcerated. Well, yeah, they have to tap in. They have to tap into their third eye. How do you think they make it all of those years? Some people who have literally had 10 plus years in jail. They know that their body is stuck in that cell for numerous years, but they escape through here, their third eye. Whoa. There's a lot of them that can do that. The ones who can't, they kind of get themselves in heated water, because they practice other things. They don't practice escaping in their mind. Yeah, that's real. People who have been incarcerated for a good period of time can contest to that. So they're not incarcerated in their mind, but physically their bodies are, but not their mind. You can't chain down a mind. That's why you can be anything that you inspire it to be. You can be anything, because we've had many black people in our past who've created things that were beneficial to this country and the world, because they tapped into that mind's eye, because physically they were restricted. And then when the opportunity came, they brought that mind's eye to reality, made it tangible that they could touch. And they wasn't going to let that opportunity go by. So therefore, the things that they've created wound up being things that we know of today. That creativeness, people call it, but it's deeper than that. And it's God connected, God planted in us, each and every individual. And I'd be dag nabbit if people say that this is a false. It, no, you can't prove that to me. You can't prove that what I'm saying is false. I give God credit for every living thing. He is the author of life. And who is the author of kill, steal, and destroy? The devil. You can call it whatever to make you feel good for where you sit in life, but I'm calling it for what I think it is. And at the end of days, if I am right and you are wrong, I guess I'll never see your soul again. We'll never connect if you're wrong and I'm right. So, which would you choose? You choose to try to separate that gift from God, that creativeness, that mind's eye, that third eye. You're going to try to separate that from God when He planted it within you. It's like you've been given a gift and you're saying, it's it's all me, it's mine, no matter where you got it from. Like being an ingrate, real unappreciative, trying to claim something that you had no part in. You were just gifted it. It was gifted to you. And you're gonna act like it's because of you is why you have it or why you're able to shine with it. No, 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 no. God has given it to you. It is a blessing from God. It could be taken away. You might not want that. What you might want is to submit yourself to knowing the Almighty, powerful, creator of all has blessed me with it. Be thankful. Be respectful. Don't disrespect God by throwing it back in his face as if he had nothing to do with it. That vexes him, I'm sure. Just think about when you give your child something and he throws it on the floor and you don't work hard for it. And he throws it on the floor and break it. It make you feel some type of way, don't it? You want to chastise that little rascal. What you do that for? Dag nabbit, if you ain't want it, just give it back. You ain't had to break it. You get mad. Get a little vexed with it. Little kid. That's how God sees us when he bless us with things and we just throw it back in his face. And then we try to claim it as it was all me. Me. I did it. It's mine. It's me. Me. He looking at you like, boy, if you don't straighten yourself up, but I'm going to send you a sign to straighten up. And if you don't recognize it, then you keep that up, I'm going to take it from you. Right? You do your kids like that, right? You keep that up, you ain't going to get another one. You break this one, you ain't getting another one. Ain't that how it works? That's right. Learn how to tap into that third eye, that mind's eye that's been blessed to you. Don't separate that from God. God is the author of good. That's not hard to figure out. That's basic common sense if you really think about it. It's common sense, y'all. Right? All right. That's a little something for y'all to think about. This is how my mind operates. And I just shared it with you. And if you want to tap into that creativeness, then whatever it is that you're good at, and you don't know why, try to excel in it. Push yourself. Because it will come easier for you than maybe someone else. Because that is not what they see in their third eye. That is not the creativeness that's been planted within them, but it's been planted in you. So push yourself toward the thing that you know that you're good at. Even if you're good at speaking, then speak well. Speak your best. If you're good at writing, then be detailed in your writing. That it takes a person from one place to the next and they're sitting in one seat. If you just know how to uplift people, then uplift them well, as if you're talking to yourself. Because if you can uplift one person, then you've done a great job. I'm pretty sure God would say, job well done. But you push yourself in that direction even more. Whatever you have been blessed with, push yourself. Some people are blessed physically. You look at them, you think that, man, they must have been working out all their life. It's natural. They don't have to do a thing. And I know a few people like that. I ain't one of them. I wish I was, but I ain't. I got a different type of mind, third eye. It ain't that for me. But some people are just blessed that way. Ain't got to lift a finger. But push yourself further into that. Teach others to be, or whoever inspired to be that way, push them. Bless them with your gift. And that is the thick and thin of the matter. If you want to tap in, if you want to learn how, then find that thing that you're good at, that's easier for you to do, and enhance it, work at it. Whatever you practice is what you'll become. So practice in being the good voice. Listen to the good voice inside of you. Listen to that positive, that God planted in you. Listen to that voice. You'll be surprised on where you can go in this world. Yeah, buddy. On that note, I'm about to wrap this up. You know why I talked about this stuff? I think y'all know why. Because I'm a grown damn man. I'm a grown man. Of course, I'm going to talk about whatever I want to. Dag nabbit, right? And on that note, y'all, treat people. Oh, before I go into all that, you know I love saying that at the end. But I also want to tell you, tell somebody you love them today. Yeah, that's that God in me to tell you, tell somebody you love them. Like right now. Hey, Facebook, I love you. I don't care who you are. My lovers, my haters, I love you. Hey, you too. What's up, fam? I love you. My lovers and my haters, guess what? I still got love for you. See that? I did it. And on that note, y'all, treat people like you want to be treated, and it'll come back around because it has for me. That's my commercial voice. Did it work? No, not really. All right, I'll try it next time. All right, peeps. All right, now. Be kind, be nice, be sweet, and try to tap into your third eye. Yeah, your mind's eye, that creativeness that God has blessed you with. Tap into it. All right, fam. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace and love. Yeah, yeah. All right.